Project Mercy reaches out to give help and hope to people in Africa oppressed by war, displacement, famine, and poverty. Project Mercy is a channel for concerned people, men, women, and children like yourself, who care about suffering people and reach out to help. In responding to the felt needs of people in Africa, Project Mercy provides resources to meet physical and spiritual needs, be it through sending food and clothing, providing finances for schools, or the work of refugee churches, or by helping remote village communities become self-reliant. Project Mercy seeks to be mindful of the emotional, geographical, and cultural sensitivities of those in need. Project Mercy was birthed in 1977 in Fort Wayne, Indiana by a refugee couple from Ethiopia, Marta Gabret Sadek and her husband Demika Teklawold. With the help of concerned friends Charles and Francis Dickinson, they knew that through Project Mercy, people in the United States would grasp the plight of refugees and respond with a heart of compassion. They were right. Nearly 17 million people are refugees in our world today. 5 million of these homeless and destitute people live in Africa. Who are these refugees, and where do they come from? Refugees are people who have been forced to flee their countries due to situations which have made life intolerable or unsafe through persecution or war, for example. Usually this means they have lost their homes, land, possessions, and often their family members too, through separation while fleeing or through death by war or starvation. They face the daily questions of their uncertain lives. Where will we get food to eat? Where will we live? What will happen to my children? Similar questions grip thousands in Ethiopia who now live in unstable and deplorable conditions resulting from years of repeated famine, war, and misguided communist rule. Project Mercy extends its hands to give the love of God and of people who care to these people. It is important to note that although people suffer from homelessness and severe destitution, they are also people of dignity, strength, and courage. They do not need our pity. They need encouragement and an arm of support. The work of Project Mercy is built on relationships with refugees, other agencies, and the communities in which we work. Periodic visits by the Project Mercy staff give direct contact, essential in establishing mutual trust and friendships. Through these relationships, Project Mercy responds to needs expressed by the people themselves. Project Mercy's work covers 4 basic areas. The first area of help is material aid. Basic needs of people, such as food and clothing, differ from place to place and culture to culture. Project Mercy understands the importance of sending relief aid which will suit the culture and climate of each area. This not only helps to fill the need, but comforts the recipients with the knowledge that someone cares enough to think of them and their specific needs. The remnants of war are many. One thread certain to unravel a country is famine. At these times, people have very limited access to food they require, and when food shortages strike, as at a time of famine, they are the first to suffer. Oat meat, a high nutrient food, as well as other food commodities, are sent to help meet the severe food shortages which cause so much suffering. In addition, money is sent to purchase food locally where possible. Funds sent for agricultural development help people become self-reliant in their own food production. Because refugees often flee very suddenly from their homes, they do not have much clothing, and what they do have wears out quickly, worn day after day. People without food to eat are certainly unable to purchase clothes. Project Mercy provides new clothing to many with the help of volunteers across the USA who sew. Patterns developed by the McCall's Company for African-style garments are available free to anyone who wishes to sew. Other patterns may also be used. For many, the Project Mercy garments are the first new clothes they have ever received. Occasional shipments of blankets, water containers, clothing, school supplies, and other relief items are sent to help ease the hardships that many in Africa face day after day. Proper distribution of the shipments is a high priority to Project Mercy and handled very effectively through project partners. The second area of help is spiritual encouragement and support. The refugee's life is filled with uncertainty, lack of the barest necessities, and worrisome anxiety about what the future holds. But in the midst of these discouragements, refugees are finding a reason for hope. Many are experiencing renewed faith in God through a relationship with Jesus Christ and have an eager desire to study the Bible. This is so encouraging to see among people who have many reasons to despair. At the request of refugee churches, Project Mercy is privileged to help support the ministry of spiritual teaching and encouragement among refugees. In Malawi, Project Mercy helped start theological teaching for pastors and church leaders among the Mozambican refugees. Liberian refugees in West Africa were helped in building a church. Congregations in Sudan and Djibouti are eagerly reaching their fellow refugees in settlement camps and towns with the message of hope and life in Christ. Funds from Project Mercy help to support evangelists sent out by these churches. As a result, refugees are able to reach those for whom God is giving them a vision. To provide assistance for both physical and spiritual hunger is a high calling for Project Mercy. The third area of help is development aid. People in Africa need long-term solutions to problems of war, displacement, famine, and the grinding toil of poverty. Emergency relief aid meets the immediate need, but development provides the lasting answers by addressing the root problems. Problems of basic survival are complicated, and long-term answers come in very different forms. By having direct contact with people in Africa, Project Mercy enables communities to find solutions for their unique situations. For example, Project Mercy is helping women in Sudan learn to sew by providing funds for sewing machines. Small loans and grants help refugees in Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Sudan start small income generating businesses to support themselves. In the village of Yetabone in central Ethiopia, Project Mercy supports a community development project which will, for the first time, provide basic necessities for the people. An elementary school, a health clinic, an orphanage, and a skill training center will improve the quality of life for Yetabone's people. Agricultural development will help the people meet repeated droughts with more adequate food supplies. Through Project Mercy partnering with them, people have gained a dignity through becoming more self-reliant by providing daily needs for themselves, their children, and their neighbors. The fourth area of help is educational aid. For the very poor, the focus is on the immediate and pressing needs of the day. But when we look at the children, we realize that in spite of what they face today, they will be the adults of tomorrow. Who can say which children will become the leaders of the future? The uppermost concern of parents in Africa is education for their children. Project Mercy is also concerned and has taken their requests seriously to help establish schools. In Khartoum, Sudan, over 40,000 refugee children had no opportunity for an education. Since January 1990, funded by Project Mercy, but organized and run by refugees, the Nile School now exists for some of these children. Adults also come in the evenings for classes. In the same way, the village of Yetabone in Ethiopia has no school, nor is there one close enough for the children to attend. With the help of Project Mercy, the community's first school is being built. Because of this development, the problem of illiteracy in Yetabone and the surrounding area will lessen. Children need to learn their ABCs, but they need much more as well. Project Mercy trusts that by helping Africans care for their children, young lives will be shaped in body, soul, and spirit. You and I, with those you see here, are partners to answer the question, who will save these children?
cry for all the innocent ones born into a world that's lost its heart, for those who never learned to dream, because their hope is crushed before they can start. And we shake our fists at the air and say, if God is love, how can this be fair? But we are his hands, we are his voice, we are the ones who must make the choice. And if it isn't now, tell me when. If it isn't you, then tell me who will save the children? Who will save the children?
Count our blessings one by one, yet we have forgotten how to give. It seems that we don't want to face all the hungry and homeless who struggle to live. But heaven is watching tonight, tugging at our hearts to do what's right. But we are his hands, we are his voice, we are the ones who must make the choice. And if it isn't now, tell me when.
If it isn't you, then tell me who will save the children. Save the children. As we observe them through our TV screens, they seem so distant and unreal, but they bleed like we bleed, and they feel what we feel. Oh, save the children.
Project Mercy considers it a privilege to be a caring hand to the very needy of Africa. Without help of many friends, Project Mercy could not share the help and hope to so many. During my visits to Africa, I see thousands of people severely suffering from physical and spiritual hunger. I often wonder, Lord, there are so many people. How can we help all of them? The answer so clearly shown to me, one by one.
Now we decide that nothing can change and throw up our hands in numb despair.
And we lose a piece of our souls by teaching ourselves just how not to care.
But Christ would have gone to the cross just to save one child from being lost. And we are his hands,
We are his voice, we are the ones who must make the choice. And it must be now, there's no time to waste.
it must be you, no one can take your place.
Can't you see that only we can save the children?
Save the children.